and you have like all of that space for your ball. All right. So we are going to start you off with a yoga block. It's going to go underneath your tailbone. So go ahead and lay yourself down. You can slide it underneath your tailbone. And so we're just going to start here with some breath. And then eventually we're going to start to expand our body. So keep the soles of the feet on the floor right now. You can lay your arms down by your sides if that's comfortable. And go ahead and close your eyes and start to focus on your breath. So take a deep breath into the belly. And then pause at the top. And then exhale slowly. And pause at the bottom. And again, inhale, breathe deeply. And pause at the top. And exhale completely. And pause at the bottom. And continue to breathe just like that, as deep as you can, maybe even breathing down to where you feel that block behind you. And then we're going to start to expand to whatever degree our bodies will allow. So start to walk your feet out a little, or maybe a lot. And then take your legs a little wide, so maybe as wide as your mat. And then you'll start to bring your arms, whatever degree they can go, up and over your head. So some of you will go completely over your head. Some of you will be more out to the side. What we're trying to do is just expand the body and get a nice full body stretch, a nice lengthening through the body from head to toe. And once you find a position you are okay with for a bit, come back to your breath. Take 5 more of your biggest, most expansive breaths. Again, with the pause at the top and the pause at the bottom. So it's very slow, very intentional breath. And one more big breath. And slowly exhale. And start to rebend your knees, soles of the feet on the earth. And then you'll bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, knuckles face the ceiling, and then start to reach your arms long over your head to whatever degree they will reach, and then back up over your chest. So just getting a little movement into the shoulders. Some of you will feel this a lot. Some of you won't feel a lot. It's okay either way. Just moving through the shoulders. You might feel some in the chest. Couple more times, lengthen. And bring the arms back over the chest. And one more time, we lengthen. And bring those arms back over the chest. And then start to draw your right knee into your chest. So you can catch that knee with those clasped fingers. And then let your left leg extend out. So feeling a lengthening through the top of your left leg. And then maybe also some of you will feel the right hamstring. Relax your shoulders, make sure they're not scrunching up into your ears. And then you want your hip bones tipping towards you, not away from you. So if you're letting those hip bones tip away, you might start to feel it in your back. You want to feel your left hip flexor, top of the thigh mostly, and then maybe a little in the back of your right leg as well. Make some circles with your right ankle, a few times one way, and then a few times the other way. And then just taking a hold of that right knee with just your right hand and starting to draw the knee to the right. So make sure you're not tipping over. In fact, I like to put my left hand on my left hip to kind of keep myself grounded. My hips are still pointed towards the ceiling. So maybe your knee goes over just a little bit, maybe a lot. So everybody's different on this one. Depends on your flexibility in your hips and inner thigh. And then you're going to draw circles with that right knee. So bring it into a circle. You'll go one way and then the other way. So it doesn't matter which way you're going. And then go the other direction. And then take a hold of the back of your right leg. Pull it as close as you can to your chest. Keep that close distance as you start to move your right leg in the direction of straight, and then you'll rebend. And then in the direction of straight, and then you'll rebend. And continuing to move slowly and intentionally. Option to add a flex of the ankle, toes towards shin at the top, and then rebend. And then you'll point the toes as you go up. Flex at the top and then rebend. And then point. And then rebend. And we point, flex at the top, and rebend. One more time, extend it up, flex, and rebend. And then bring both knees into the chest. And then you'll start to draw circles with both knees. So both knees go out kind of like a butterfly, and then they'll come towards each other. And again, doesn't matter which direction you go first, you're going to go both ways. So it doesn't matter which way you start with. So circle it out, bring it in, and then we'll go the other way. So the knees go out, they move in, just guiding with your hands. And then both feet come back down to the floor. I usually need to kind of readjust my block. So if yours moved around, go ahead and put it back where you want it. And then we'll bring that left knee into the chest and start to extend the right leg out, feeling length through the top of your right thigh. And start to make circles with your left ankle. It'll go one way and then the other way. And then pulling that knee nice and close towards your chest. And then you'll start to draw it out to the left. And again, I like to put my right hand on my right hip to make sure I'm not tipping over, kind of grounding through my right hip with that right hand. And then start to draw some circles with the left knee. And then you'll go the other way. And pull that knee nice and close. Take a hold of the back of your leg and start to straighten and bend the left leg. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Option to add the flex of the ankle at the top. That does intensify the experience, so it might be appropriate for you. It might not. Keep breathing. Do that a few more times. Last one. Good. And then once again, bringing both knees into the chest. And we'll draw those circles with both knees. So it's like a butterfly with the knees, and then they come together. And again, like a butterfly with those knees, then they come together. One more time that way. And then switch directions. Knees go out, they come in, they go out. And one more. And then we'll put the feet back down on the floor. Take a big belly breath. Open your mouth. Good. Engage the core just a bit to lift up and off of your block. Set the block off to the side. And then go ahead and extend both legs straight out, kind of wide again, as wide as your mat. Lay your arms down by your sides and just let the legs kind of rock back and forth here. Just kind of little movement. You can make it big or small. Just the feet and legs can move, or you can let your hips move a little bit, just kind of shaking that off. We did quite a bit of extension through the back, so you might need to shake it off a little bit. And then bend the knees, step the feet again wide on the mat, and then the knees rock back and forth. Again, just getting a little bit of blood flow into that area. We have the block there. We're kind of putting some pressure. We want to just get all that flowing back out through our legs and our hips. And a couple more rocks, side to side. All right. You're rolling to the side, and we're going to go ahead and take our Pilates ball now. And the Pilates ball is going to go right in the middle back area. Some of you might end up needing something under your head, a pillow or a towel. We're going to be opening up that middle back chest area with the Pilates ball. So if your head does not easily touch the ground or if it's dangling, please put something underneath your head. Okay. So we'll start off again with those arms down by the sides, maybe even out to your sides if you'd like. So opening up the chest. So I like to keep my knees bent for this one. Your choice. If it feels good to extend the legs, you're welcome to extend them. But the focus this time right now is more middle back area. So see if we can get some opening through all of this chest and middle back with that ball behind us. And then breathing deeply, exhaling completely. Full breaths in, complete breaths out. We'll take 3 more of those full breaths. Focus on deep, deep breath, as deep as you can breathe. Send the breath all the way down to the belly. Exhale completely. And then we'll start to make some movement with the arms. So like a snow angel. So moving those arms, maybe they go all the way up, maybe they don't. You will figure out the range that feels appropriate for you. So your arms will move in a range that you feel some length, but no pain, nothing sharp. And we'll do that a couple more times. And then placing your hands behind your head. I'm going to flip around so you can see this a little better. So from here, you're going to just move your body very slowly side to side. So the ball will grip onto your skin a little bit, especially if you have it touching your skin. So that's why I tend to wear these types of tops that don't cover my whole back so that it can get a little bit more grippy onto the skin. You're still getting benefit even if you have a full shirt on, but if you're ever comfortable giving yourself a little bit more, the ball will grab onto the skin if it's directly touching your skin. Couple more times, a little side bend, a little side bend. Okay. And then we'll come up and off of the ball. So we'll set that off to the side. So we are going to be using your wall space and a block and a ball. So we'll go ahead and get you up. We're going to be releasing into the chest, particularly the collarbone to start right now, and then we will move it down. But we'll start on the right side, right underneath your collarbone, placing your block on the wall like this. The ball goes on the block, and then again, right underneath that right collarbone, you'll place the ball. Hold the block with your left hand so you don't slip, and then the right arm starts to move in whatever way feels appropriate for you. It might be a full, like snow angel range of motion again. For some of you, if you've got anything limiting your range, maybe it doesn't go up all the way. Maybe some of you need to just dangle and do some almost like circle kind of movements or a pendulum down at the bottom. So play with it and see what seems like it's serving you best. It might be a combination of all of those things. So releasing into the chest here. When we have tension in our chest, it absolutely can limit our ability to take a deep breath. It can absolutely limit our ability in our neck and our shoulders. So holding the block now with two hands and start to move side to side. Back and forth, nice and slow. And then we'll slide that ball down and to the right a bit. So it's closer to the armpit. And then you'll turn slightly to the left. And then the same kind of movement here with the arm. Anything that feels like it's working for you. Good. Continue doing that. Be right back. So any movements that feel like they're working for you. You could even slide that right hand behind your lower back. And if you're choosing that and that feels okay, try dropping your right elbow towards the wall a little bit. A little internal rotation, stretch here in the shoulder. That might feel good for you. For some of you, that won't work. And if you have your hand back there, go ahead and release it now. So we'll start our bodies back or turn our bodies back towards the wall. And we're going to go side to side again. So the ball is a little bit lower than it was before. So more across the actual pectoral area here, middle pectoral area. And of course, you control how much pressure is on the ball by how far back you are or how much you intentionally lean. You could be very deep or very superficial in terms of your depth. You control the experience here. A couple more times we go side to side. And then we'll go ahead and set the block down. We'll keep the ball. The ball is going to slide to the back of the armpit. So it's on the back, right where that armpit connects to your back. So pin that in there and then start to make some movements. So you could make circles. You could go side to side. You could go up and down. And then you can start to move your arm a little bit. You could try palm up, you could try palm down. You could even turn and go thumb towards the ground, palm towards the wall. That's internal rotation. And maybe one of those positions feels better for you than another. Or if they all feel good, maybe you just keep switching. I'm going to go palm up, palm down, internal rotation, external rotation. You could also make some circles. So a lot of this is just like an exploration. Like, what does my body need? What would serve me best? This area right here, very connected to shoulder issues, neck issues. So if you're feeling tension in here, this might be a spot you want to start focusing on a little bit more. Okay. So we're going to set the ball down. And we'll take that right hand to the wall. So the arm can be straight or it can be bent. You'll decide based on what feels better for you. Drop that shoulder blade down your spine and you'll start to turn your body to the left, rotating from your middle back. So make sure it's not your lower back. If you want to guarantee that it's your middle back, you could wrap your hand around your rib cage and guide yourself into this rotation from the middle back. And what you want to be feeling is something in the chest mostly, and a little bit in the front of the shoulder, but not pinching in the back. If you're feeling a pinch, you might need to change the angle of the arm, or maybe you need to bend the elbow. So just finding what's allowing you to feel mostly chest. We're opening the chest here. Many of us, with our types of work that we do, tend to have very rounded shoulders, and even how we feel emotionally can cause us to round the shoulders. And if that happens, it does put you in a position where you might start having neck or shoulder pain. So we can get those shoulders back. We can have a nice, proud chest. We'll feel better about ourselves. Believe it or not, if you change the position of your physical body, it can affect your emotional state. So if you stand tall and proud, you're going to feel tall and proud. So we get those shoulders back. We get that nice open chest. We'll feel better physically and emotionally. Couple more big breaths. And we'll release. Okay, so we need the block and the ball again. So block and ball right underneath the left collarbone now. So we'll place that and find a position where you are feeling that in that chest, upper chest. Make sure you're holding onto your block so you don't slip. And then that left arm starts to move in whatever way it feels like it's serving you. So maybe it's a full kind of snow angel range of motion. Maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe you dangle the arm and do some circles, or a pendulum. Some of you might even find that holding and not moving at all is actually the most appropriate for you, and that's fine too. So find that range that's working for you, or then again, you could find stillness if that's working better for you. And then holding that block with two hands, and the ball will travel right underneath that collarbone side to side as you move your body. All right, let's slide the ball down and a bit to the left, so closer to the armpit, and turn your body slightly to the right, still holding that block with your right hand, and then the left arm moves again, whatever range is serving you. So it could be a full big range of motion. It could be really small, or you could just be still and hold and breathe. Just knowing that this practice is all about getting yourself to a parasympathetic state, a state of recovery. We're not trying to go to anything that causes anxiety. We have enough of that in our lives. We don't need to add to it. So, bringing yourself to a place where you feel something, but as you stay, it's calming, it's relaxing, the tissue softens. Don't ever want to go so deep that your body is going to respond with locking down or getting more stuck as a protective mechanism. So just really paying attention to how deep you're going and the movements that you're doing. Option to slide the left hand behind your lower back if that works for you. And then if you're doing that, dropping that left elbow towards the wall, a little internal rotation, stretch of that shoulder. Big breaths in, long breaths out. And then releasing that arm if it's back there, and then facing the wall. So the ball is more on the middle pectoral area now as you start to move side to side. So your body moves, the ball will travel back and forth. Couple more times. All right, so we'll set the block down. And then this is the one where we find our armpit and then slide to the back. And then we find that little spot back there that might be a little tender. So again, as always, you control the pressure. So the more I lean in, of course, the more intense it will be. And then you can start to move your body. You can start to move your arm or any combination. Move up, down, side, side. You could make circles. And as always, you could just pin that in there and just simply breathe if that's most appropriate. If you're moving the arm, you could try palm up, palm down, even internally rotating so the palm faces the wall with the thumb pointing down. That can be pretty intense. So just do what feels like it's serving you. Could make circles with your arm. All right. We'll set that ball down. We're going to stretch the chest. So the left hand comes to the wall. Drop that shoulder blade down your spine. And then you start to rotate from your middle back to the right to whatever degree allows you to feel the chest mostly. Maybe a little bit on that front of the shoulder, but nothing pinching in the back. Make your adjustments. Arm can move or bend more, whatever allows you to feel the chest and maybe a little shoulder the most. Keep breathing. Keep thinking of softening. And we have 5 more big breaths. Long inhales, complete exhales. After your 5th breath, you'll start to make your way out of that. And then both hands will come to the wall. So your hands will be on the wall, flat on the wall. In fact, I'll demonstrate right here. So you'll walk your feet back to the degree that you can feel a stretch through those shoulders. You might need to play with the distance of your hands. Some people need wider, some people need narrower. Once you feel a little stretch in the shoulders and under the armpits, you'll start to alternate bending one knee. So my right knee is bending and I'm sitting way into my left hip. And then I'll switch sides. And then I will feel a stretch in the straight leg, hamstring, and maybe hip. And it does also increase the experience on my left side when I do that. So we go back and forth. So a full body kind of stretch here, shoulders, chest, hips, back. You're also working on getting some movement into the sacrum when you're going back and forth like this. And we'll do that a couple more times, breathing. All right. Good. And then we'll make our way back to the floor, back to your mat. And you'll find your 2 yoga tune-up balls. And you'll be placing one on each upper trapezius. So you're going to have a block nearby just in case. So you can either hold them, lay down, or place them on the ground and then find your way to them. So whichever way is easiest for you, but you'll need to adjust them so they're on your upper trapezius. So your upper trapezius is not your back of your shoulder, it's not your neck, it's in between those 2 points somewhere. And then again, you may want to block, but you can try moving the arms around to see if the level of intensity is enough for you without the block. If it's not, you can slide your block underneath your tailbone like we had it earlier. Or you could simply just lift your hips up if you want to do it more dynamically. You can do that too. And then whatever movements, again, seem like they're serving you. So snow angel, of course, is always one you could try. You could try one arm up by your ear, the other one down, and then keep switching. Keep taking deep breaths. Keep inviting in softening. Keep inviting in opening of your heart, softening of your heart. And as always, movement or stillness if that's serving you better. You can find the position of the arms, maybe that's lengthening, that's working for you over the head or by your sides. Or again, you can continue to move. Maybe you move a bit and then you find stillness for a bit. You can try grabbing opposite shoulders, giving yourself kind of a hug and pulling a little bit on those backs of the shoulders. And then you could reach out and then switch the arms, take the shoulders. Maybe while you're hugging, you just kind of move around a little bit. So many options. I recommend, as always, just maybe even closing your eyes and just getting really intuitive about the movement. So everything I say is just a suggestion. You make your decisions on what is going to work best for you. You have 10 more breaths. You can move, you can be still, but definitely keep breathing. If you remove the block, if you had it there, and then lift your hips up and move your body side to side, you might feel what you want to feel. I'm doing that now. If you're not sure what I mean, you can take a look at me. I'm kind of moving my arms one way and my hips the other way. And that can be a lot. So that's not going to work for everyone. Just a few more big, expansive breaths. And then you'll go ahead and find your way off of those balls. Set them off to the side. We're going to find your Pilates ball again. So this time the Pilates ball is going to be coming to the belly, kind of high up. So not belly button, but a little higher, closer to the sternum, kind of right in this area. Not quite as high as your sternum, but heading in that direction. And then your choice. You can stay on the forearms or you can relax your forehead down. So when we take our deep breaths, as you exhale, see if you can get that ball to almost like tuck just a tiny bit underneath your rib cage. So you might need to adjust yourself so that that's possible. So working on our breathing muscle here. So as you've heard me say a million times, if you've taken my classes, the breath is the most important part. So if you're not able to take a deep breath, finding a relaxed state will be nearly impossible. Your body will live in a state of fight or flight if your breath is stuck in your chest. You'll start to feel tension in the neck and shoulders, and then it just becomes this vicious cycle of tension and stress. So we've got to be able to take deep breaths. So getting the tissue in and around the diaphragm is super important. So deep, deep breathing. Let the ball melt into your body. As you exhale, maybe pause once again at that exhalation. The breath out, just pausing and then breathing in again. And exhaling and pausing and breathing and exhaling and pausing. Keep going like that. Couple more full inhales and exhales. And then removing the ball, bringing your forehead down to the backs of the hands. Go ahead and bend your knees and windshield wiper the legs very slowly, side to side. And releasing your legs. And then bringing your hips in the direction of your heels. If you're tight in your knees or your hips, maybe they don't go all the way back, but bringing your hips in the direction of your heels, moving in the direction of a child's pose, breathing into the lower back. If that absolutely is not working for you, try just rounding your spine like a cat. So just allowing our bodies to move into a little bit of flexion. And then we'll slowly start to make our way back onto our bellies. And then we're going to move into something called Sphinx. So everybody will look different on this one. So you're going to bring your elbows underneath you, and then whatever degree you can lift and lengthen your chest. So for some of you, I mean, it's going to be this much, and that's fine. For some of you, you're going to have your elbows right under the shoulders and you'll be lifting and lengthening more. So press into the forearms and the hands, and it's almost like you're trying to drag your body. So I'm stretching where I just had that ball a moment ago. So think of lengthening through the front of the torso, pull the shoulders down and back. And then you have choices. Your neck, you can just keep it neutral. You can look straight ahead. Some of you, it might feel good to let it just dangle down and stretch. And some of you might like to make circles or even half circles with your neck. So see what you think. What works for you? Just remember to think of lengthening through the front of the torso. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to crunch into my lower back. So, yes, I'm creating some extension, but no crunching, no sharp pain in that lower back. So, lengthening the belly, lengthening through the sternum. And again, your choice for your neck, what feels good. 3 more breaths. Lengthening with every exhale. And then slowly we lower all the way back down again and taking 3 big belly breaths. Feel your belly press against the floor. Feel the whole back body also fill with breath. Exhale. Continue like that. Couple more. And then we're going to be sliding the right arm underneath us. And if it doesn't work, I'll show you another option. So I'm going to be laying on top of my arm. If it's pinching on the inside, you might need to adjust the angle of that arm. If it is not working for you in any way, shape, or form, you'll come to your knees instead and do a more traditional, what we call thread the needle. I like to just support my forehead with my opposite forearm. So again, you're on the knees or you're laying on your belly right on top of the arm. If you feel like you have to really roll over to the right, go ahead and come onto your knees because that's taking that pressure off of the arm. So if you're not able to really kind of keep your chest basically pointed towards the ground, you probably need to come to your knees, and that's fine. What you want to feel is the back of the right shoulder here, back of the right shoulder stretching. Big inhales and exhales. Opening through the shoulders and the chest. We'll open our heart. We'll take 3 more breaths. Think of softening with every exhale. And then start to lift up and just simply switch sides. So if you're on your belly, you can try just staying on your belly for your second side. And remember, if that's not working for you, just come to your knees and you'll do it on your knees instead. So check in, make sure again, it's not pinching on the inside. That arm is coming across. You're either laying on top of it or you are on the knees. Breathing into the length in the back of your left arm now. And again, if you tend to have issues with your neck and or shoulders, keeping this area mobile, pliable is going to be really important. Chest, shoulders, middle back. All of those areas involved in keeping our posture in alignment, keeping our energy flowing. 3 more breaths. And then we'll start to lift up and off of the arm. And then we'll go ahead and take our yoga tune-up balls. If they are out of your tote, you're going to go ahead and place them in your tote now. We're going to be doing our neck release. So you'll place the balls on top of your block. And then you'll lay your neck on the balls. So go ahead and lay yourself down, and the balls will go in the middle of your neck. We'll eventually get to the base of your skull, but for right now, in the middle of your neck. And if for any reason the block is too much, then you can just do this with the balls on the floor. So we'll just start with turning our head side to side. And then nodding your head, yes. Chin to the ceiling, chin towards your chest. Keep breathing. Keep softening. Letting go. And really letting go of the things that have nothing to do with you. So many of us hold on to the things around us or other people's stuff, and it piles up on our shoulders, and then our shoulders and our necks hurt. We hold the weight of the world on our backs, right? So just letting go of all the things that are not yours. Turn your head to the right and then nod your head like yes. Yes, I'm inviting in healing. Yes, I'm inviting in love. Yes, I'm inviting in compassion. Turn your head to the left and nod your head yes. Yes, I'm inviting in a higher power. And then go ahead and move those balls to the base of your skull. So your chin will then tuck down and you'll get a bit of traction in the neck. So you might need to adjust a few times to get this the way you want it, but you should feel a subtle lengthening through the neck as the chin tucks down. Take 3 more breaths. And then we'll remove the balls and the block. We're going to revisit where we started, the block under the tailbone. If you choose, it could come to the middle setting now. We had it on its flattest setting to start. You could try it. It may or may not work for you. And then once again, the legs will extend to whatever degree you can extend them. And the arms will extend to whatever degree you can extend them. So once again, it's a nice full body stretch. A nice invitation for allowing our bodies to be open to healing. This can feel very vulnerable for many of us. Letting our hearts be open, our bellies be exposed to a certain degree, our hips be open this way. See if you can stay with it. Nothing uncomfortable physically. Just allowing yourself to be open. And don't feel pressure to go on the higher setting. If it feels good to you, you do it. If the middle setting, the lowest setting, sorry, is what feels best for you, keep it on that same low setting we started with. That's a great opening. No need to do more than is necessary. More is not always better. Sometimes more is just simply more. Five breaths. And then very carefully rebend the knees. Bring your arms by your sides. Engage the core a little bit to lift up and off of your block. Anything you might need to do before your Shavasana, you do it. I like to bring my knees together, TP my knees. Take a few big breaths. And maybe you just keep the knees there. Maybe that's comfortable for you for your final rest. Or you can make your body into a full Shavasana shape if you choose. Once you find your final rest position, go ahead and take your biggest, most expansive breath. And then let it go. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Namaste.